Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ, where we help you lead with purpose and succeed with impact. If you're ready to grow into the kind of leader others want to follow, this podcast is for you. If you're determined to elevate your success and leave a lasting legacy, this podcast is for you. As my mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell reminds us, everything rises and falls on leadership. Our goal is simple: to inspire you, challenge you, and equip you with insights that can transform the trajectory of your leadership journey. Welcome aboard to another episode of the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm coming to you from a very special location today. So I didn't want to miss today's episode. So we are doing season 31, episode 4 AI. So I'm going to use my artificial intelligence bot to be speaking to you today in just a moment. And they're going to give you a 10-minute summary of the study we had on January the 4th, 2026, which was the study about the book of Proverbs. This is not a religious study, but it's about mentoring from the book of Proverbs. So ancient wisdom and leadership lesson from the book of Proverbs. Today, Proverbs chapter 4. So you can listen to the full episode from January 4th. It's available on LinkedIn, YouTube, and all of the major podcast platform. But today is going to be a summary all done by artificial intelligence. So as is our custom, I am grateful today, like I've been every day of this month, for Black History Month. I think Black history is American history. And if you are a leader, no matter your race, I think you definitely need to celebrate Black history. It is important. So for those who follow me, this Black History Month 2026, I'm doing two things. One, I am going back on the days, like today's February 4th, so I'm going to find a date in African American history where something significant happened on today's date. But I am also celebrating all of the African American who have participated in the U.S. military, who have really done great things for our country, even beginning from the very beginning, right, 1776, all the way up to today. African American have always been a part of our military, and they have defended this country from the very, very beginning. And I do want to celebrate them. So let's talk about today, February 4th. So we're going to talk about February 4th, 1839. Okay, let's talk about this today in history. So in Alabama, and I used to live in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, so not far from there, Alabama began leasing incarcerated people for profit on January 26, 1839. And the Alabama state legislature voted to construct the state's first prison. 2 years later, the Wetumpka State Penitentiary opened its door. So in 1842, the first person incarcerated there was a white man sentenced to 20 years for harboring a runaway slave. And in the antebellum period, 99% of incarcerated people back then were white. Not because black people were treated more justly, but that's because free black people were not allowed to live in the state of Alabama. But the enslaved black people were subjected to unregulated plantation justice at the hands of enslaver and overseer. So there was no need for prison for them. They were being treated cruelly by their masters back then, white people. Okay, so the prison was intended to be self-sustaining, relying on prison industries such as wagon making and saddlery, shoes, and rope. But it kind of failed, right? So on today's date, February 4th, in 1846, Alabama made a fateful decision. Alabama decided to lease the entire penitentiary and the people inside it to private businessman. I think his name was J.G. Graham. For 6 years. So Graham appointed himself warden. He eliminated nearly all oversight role, claimed all profit from incarcerated labor to himself, and he reduced the prison workforce to only a physician and one inspector. This marked the birth of the convict leasing system in Alabama. So uh, during this time, again, demographic had flipped, no, after the Civil War. So, in a post-emancipation society, the incarcerated population, once almost white, was now 90% black, and many were arrested for minor or trumped-up charges under discriminatory law. They were forced into brutal, dangerous labor without pay, under conditions often worse than slavery. So that's what happened in the United States of America in February 4, 18, uh, 1846. So that was in Alabama. All right. So a date to remember. So let's talk about an American hero. So who was the very first African American U.S. Army major? Well, that's almost being a senior officer. That is '04. All right. Only two promotion away from being a colonel and three promotion away from becoming a general, a flag officer. That was Major Martin Delany. Here he is. So Martin Delany was quite an extraordinary man because late in the Civil War, so already a nationally respected editor, physician, lecturer, writer, and abolitionist. I mean, it was there anything that Martin Delany couldn't do. He was appointed a major in the Union Army, where he recruited two regiments of formerly enslaved men to fight for the Union and for freedom. Again, African Americans have been a part of the U.S. military from the very, very beginning, fighting for America. A country at the time rejected them, enslaved them, and didn't show them any respect or civil war, but still they wanted to sacrifice their life for the idea of America. So long before donning a uniform, Delany was already shaping history, right? He studied medicine. He was a doctor. When black physicians were nearly unheard of, he published a newspaper. So he was a newspaper publisher, amplifying abolitionist voices. In 1852, he offered the condition, elevation, immigration, and destiny of the colored people of the United States. So he was an author, politically considered a bold call urging African American to consider self-determination beyond U.S. borders. But anyway, after the war, Delany continued serving the nation. He fought to redeem. In South Carolina, for example, he assisted formerly enslaved people transitioning into free citizenship, served 3 years with the Freeman Bureau, became a custom house inspector, and later served as a trial judge in Charleston, South Carolina. So just a great American hero. Remember the name, Major Martin Delany. So he is the hero of today, really the what I call profile, encourage military African American first. All right. So now we are going to get into the lesson, which is going to be a summary of the ancient wisdom and leadership lesson for Proverbs chapter 4. And before I play the lesson, I will first play a couple of clips from the lesson that initially was published on January 4th. Here we go.
And I think what's more challenging today in 2025, in the 21st century, is we really have to keep our focus. Too many distractions, social media, the internet, TV, network. I mean, there's really a lot of distraction out there, and you really have to keep focus on what's really important to you, okay? And work on that. All right. So leadership stagnates when learning becomes optional. So it has to be a must. All right. Lesson number 3. Wisdom protects and elevates leaders. So that's going to be verses 8 and 9. Let's listen to that. 8.
Exalt her, and she will promote you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. She will place on your head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory she will deliver to you.
A crown of glory, wisdom will deliver to you. So really the benefit for seeking wisdom really are that is measurable. That is how you grow. All right. So that's it for today. This episode is immediately available on LinkedIn and YouTube as a replay, and it should be on all of the major podcast platforms by the end of today. And in about 15 minutes, I will have a great privilege of speaking with, let me find him, Commander William Spears, U.S. Navy. Is a warrior, strategic, and warrior and the ethical steward of power. He's really a warrior philosopher. We're going to be talking about stoicism, leadership, and the ethics of command. He wrote this best-selling book, which he really gave me the advanced edition, Stoicism as a Warrior Philosophy, Insight on the Morality of Military Service. I highly, highly recommend everybody purchase this book. So he's going to be here. All right, lesson number 5, avoid the shortcut culture. Okay, we're going to read verses 14, 15, 16, and 17. Avoid the shortcut culture. All right.
Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not walk in the way of evil. Avoid it. Do not travel on it. Turn away from it and pass on. For they do not sleep unless they have done evil, and their sleep is taken away unless they make someone fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence.
They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. All right. So, unethical cultures will normalize compromise, but leaders must consciously reject paths that reward result without integrity. Remember when I first joined the Navy, our maxim was, no, I will not lie, cheat, or steal, but not just that, but also not tolerate those among us who do. That is really the maxim every sailor lives by, and our core values: honor, courage, and commitment. So how do we apply this? You have to establish clear ethical boundaries before the pressure arrives. Again, I will refer you back to the episode with my former professor, Dr. Casey Lucius. I believe it was episode 100, and let me see, I have it here. It was just last month. Yeah, she was Dr. Lucius. Let me see, episode 133. Okay, so last year, season 4, episode 133. She talks about ethics, which she taught us when I was a junior officer. You really have to plan that out and really prepare for it before it actually happens. Okay. And then you have to speak up early when values are threatened. All right. So where are you tempted to rationalize compromise right now? And how do you respond when winning conflicts with value? So as a wise leader, you have to always choose
Today, we're
value
diving into some
over-
leadership advice that is, believe it or not, thousands of years old, but feels like it was written for right now. We're looking at the book of Proverbs to see how its principles can give us a solid compass in today's crazy, fast-paced world.
You know that feeling, right? Whether you're in the military, running a startup, or leading a team, you gotta move fast. But how do you hit that speed without drifting off course, without losing your way ethically or strategically? That's the big question, and our source material tackles it head on.
And the answer? Well, it starts by completely reframing how we think about leadership.
It's not some position you finally arrive at. It's not a title on a business card. Think of it more like a path that you yourself shape with every small intentional choice you make day in and day out.
Exactly. Our source material, which is an analysis of Proverbs chapter 4, really builds on this idea. Leadership isn't about where you stand in the org chart. It's about the path you're walking, a path that's literally defined by your daily choices and the kind of character you protect along the way. So, what is this path of wisdom? Well, it's not just about hoarding knowledge. The source defines it as a way of life, something you walk, you protect, you embody. And when you do that, it actively creates clarity and stability in your leadership. The alternative? Well, that's just a slow drift into compromise.
Okay, so if leadership is a path, where do you even begin? What's the first step? It's the active, relentless, gotta-have-it pursuit of wisdom. This is not a passive hobby, folks. The source is crystal clear. It's a fundamental requirement for any leader who truly wants to grow.
And here's a really crucial insight. Wisdom isn't always something you just figure out on your own. Nope. More often, it's transferred. It's like an inheritance, passed down from mentors and leaders who've walked the path before you. And the key to unlocking that inheritance? Humility. You've got to be willing to learn. So, how do you do this in the real world? First, listen way more than you talk. Second, go looking for advice before things blow up, not after. And check out that third point. Actually schedule time to learn. Because if it's not in your calendar, it's not a real priority, is it?
This quote from the source just hits the nail on the head. We all say we value growth. We all want to get better. But good intentions are just, well, they're not enough. If that time for reading, for thinking, for learning isn't on your calendar with the same weight as your most important meeting, it just isn't happening.
But, just getting wisdom is only half the game. You have to actually apply it. And that's where discipline comes in. Because at the end of the day, your daily habits, your routines, are what truly determine your final destination as a leader.
And this is so critical. Your good intentions don't shape your future. Your direction does. And what sets your direction? The small, consistent things you do every single day. Your daily routines are way more powerful than your New Year's resolutions.
So let's get practical. First, you've got to audit your daily routines. Be honest. Do they line up with your biggest goals? Then start cutting out the noise and distractions that pull you off course. Over time, that consistency, that discipline, that's what builds a reputation people can actually count on.
I love this quote from the source. It puts it so perfectly. You want to see your future? Don't look at your goals list. Look at your calendar for this week. Your daily routine is the most accurate weather forecast for your life.
Now, every path has its dangers, right? And the leadership path is no different. According to our source, the single biggest threat is the temptation of the shortcut, that constant pressure to bend the rules or compromise your integrity just to get faster results.
And this is something we have to get. A huge ethical collapse almost never happens all at once. It's a slow fade. It starts with those tiny little compromises, the ones you justify to yourself, the ones where you say, just this once, or it's for the good of the team. That's where the trouble begins. And when you put the two paths side by side, the contrast is just stark. The path of wisdom might feel slower sometimes, but over the long haul, it leads to clarity and stability. It gets brighter. The path of shortcuts, it might seem quicker at first, but it always leads toward compromise and, eventually, collapse. And man, this is the warning label for every leader. Just because someone looks successful, they've got the title, the money, the influence, it doesn't mean they got there the right way. Looking successful and being a righteous leader are not the same thing.
Okay, so we've talked about pursuing wisdom, about daily discipline, about avoiding shortcuts. But now we're getting to the absolute heart of it all. We're at the source code of leadership.
So lean in for this. The source argues that the ultimate #1 principle of leadership isn't actually about your actions or your strategies. It's not about what you do.
It's about the source, the wellspring, the place where all those actions and all those decisions flow from in the first place. And this leads us to the single most important line in this entire chapter. And here it is. Guard your heart with all diligence. Why? For out of it spring the issues of life. Everything, your vision, your words, how you handle pressure, the decisions you make, it all starts inside. It all flows from your character, from your heart.
Let's put that in modern terms.
Your character is the source code of your leadership, plain and simple. Whatever you allow to take root in your heart, integrity, humility, fear, bitterness, pride, that's what will get compiled into every action you take. Everything else is just an output of that code.
And so that brings everything we've talked about down to one final personal question. Based on your habits, based on your discipline, based on what you're guarding in your heart, what path are you actually walking today?
Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into ancient wisdom and leadership through the lens of Proverbs 4. It's like a timeless guide for navigating modern challenges in military and tech leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fascinating how these old verses resonate with the pressures leaders face today. So, where do you want to start?
Let's kick off with the idea that leadership is a generational trust. It's not about a title, but about a path that's built over time. Proverbs 4 really puts emphasis on wisdom being passed down from one generation to the next.
Right, so it's really saying that if you're, say, a military officer or a tech leader, you benefit from having that mentor, someone who's been through the trenches, you know?
Exactly. It's like a father passing on practical advice to his kids. Only here it's like a senior leader guiding their successors. And this kind of mentorship not only prevents mistakes but accelerates growth.
Absolutely. That reminds me, do you think that's practical in today's fast-paced environment? I mean, in tech, decisions are made rapidly sometimes.
Oh, for sure. And that's precisely why Proverbs 4 is so relatable. It reminds us that even when speed is crucial, grounding your leadership in disciplined learning and ethical clarity is vital. It's like, you don't just sprint without a map, right?
Right on. I see that. And what about the point that wisdom must be actively pursued? That one really hit home for me.
Yes, Proverbs 4, 5-7 drives it home. You can't just expect wisdom to fall into your lap. It requires intentional investment, much like scheduling meetings. If it's not on your calendar, it probably isn't a
Exactly.
priority.
That's a powerful analogy. It's like comparing casual reading to actually investing in professional development courses. You've got to engage actively.
Exactly, and while that's appealing, I do get a bit of pushback from some leaders who think spontaneity drives innovation. But I think deliberate practice is key.
Yeah, I hear you. But isn't there a risk, though, of becoming too rigid? If you insist on a strict schedule for wisdom, might you miss out on unexpected learning opportunities?
That's a fair point, but I'd argue that the scheduled pursuit of wisdom doesn't preclude spontaneity. It enhances it. It's like, having a solid foundation so that when inspiration strikes, you're already ready to grasp it.
True, yeah. I see what you're saying. So, the idea is that discipline in learning paves the way for those serendipitous moments of insight.
Exactly. Now, another compelling lesson is that wisdom functions as both a shield and a signal. It protects leaders from ethical missteps while also elevating their credibility. Proverbs really stresses that when you build your reputation through consistency, you're not just avoiding disaster, you're building trust over time.
Absolutely. And that consistency is so important, especially in environments where shortcuts might seem tempting to gain quick results.
Right. Proverbs explicitly warns against the shortcut culture, avoiding those paths that bring immediate results at the cost of integrity. It's like trading long-term stability for a fleeting win.
That's true, but sometimes shortcuts can lead to, innovative breakthroughs. Do you think there's ever a place for them?
That's a tough one. I mean, there might be instances where calculated risk is beneficial, but the overarching lesson here is to avoid rationalizing ethical compromises. If a shortcut means compromising on values, it's a deal breaker.
Fair point. I can get behind that. Integrity should be non-negotiable. So, it's about consistently guarding what matters.
Exactly. And speaking of guarding, one of the most profound lessons is about guarding the inner life, the heart of the leader. Proverbs 4:20-27 is practically a blueprint for protecting the internal character that informs every decision you make.
Right, absolutely. That's interesting because it moves the focus from external accomplishments to internal stability. It's like emphasizing emotional intelligence and self care.
Exactly. It's about aligning your thoughts, words, and actions. If you let negativity or unchecked pride fester, it undermines everything else. It's like, if the engine's faulty, no matter how smooth the design of the car, it's just not going to run right.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And this ties directly to the idea that leadership is a chosen path. Your daily habits actively shape your future and ultimately determine where you lead.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that action trumps mere intention. Your daily routines are like drafts for your future, as simple as that.
Indeed, I really like that perspective. It forces you to look at your own habits and question, am I really moving in the direction I want, or am I drifting off course?
Yes, and that's where focus plays a crucial role. Proverbs 4:18 to 19 sets up a dual path, one that brightens with wisdom and one that darkens with drift. It's a call to align daily actions with long-term purpose, not just passively reading about leadership, but actively walking the path.
Right, absolutely. It's almost like having a compass. Without focus, you're susceptible to every distraction that comes your way.
Exactly. And in today's information-saturated world, guarding that focus is more critical than ever. That's a sharp reminder against letting noise drown out your mission.
Yeah, So, summing it up, we have these core focuses: inheritance of wisdom, active pursuit, protection and elevation through ethical decisions, discipline in practice, avoidance of shortcuts, and finally, guarding your inner life and focus.
Yes, it's like all these lessons combine to create a roadmap, a guide for leaders in any field to lead with integrity, clarity, and a deep sense of purpose.
Absolutely. I really appreciate how these verses are not just philosophical musings, but have practical applications. Like, for example, making time for mentorship and reflection isn't just a feel good idea, it's a tactical necessity. Person, yep.
Exactly. And sometimes in our rush, we might challenge the notion of discipline, thinking it stifles creativity. But really, it's more like the fertile soil that allows the seeds of creativity to take root, deeply and sustainably.
Agreed. I do wonder, though, what about the idea of balancing discipline with flexibility? Is there room in Proverbs for that?
Yeah, interesting question. It's not an either slash or proposition. The text suggests that while discipline and focus are paramount, they're meant to guide you rather than lock you into a rigid structure. There's still room for growth, for innovation, as long as you're anchored by ethical clarity.
True, yeah. That balance is key. So, in our modern context, whether in cybersecurity, tech, or military leadership, this ancient path remains so relevant because it teaches us to lead from the inside out.
Absolutely. And it's a reminder for every leader: protect your inner life, guard your heart, because that's where all decisions spring from. It's a call to constant self assessment and accountability, qualities that are indispensable in high pressure environments.
Right. This really makes me think about my own habits and the small decisions that build up over time. It's both humbling and inspiring.
Yeah, it is. And that's the beauty of these lessons. They're timeless. They challenge us to choose our path consciously every day, to commit to growth, and to lead in a way that honors both tradition and innovation.
Absolutely. Well, this discussion has really been an eye opener. I'm definitely motivated to re examine my leadership approach and ensure it's guided by genuine wisdom rather than quick fixes.
Great to hear that. And remember, it's like every day is a fresh opportunity to walk the path of wisdom. Let's take that ancient advice and make it work for us in today's dynamic world.
Indeed, here's to leading with integrity and a clear focus every single day. Thanks for the deep dive today.
Thank you, and thanks everyone for tuning in. Keep guarding your path, your heart, and the leader within. Until next.
Okay, so this is it for today. And I'm going to be back tomorrow for the AI summary for chapter 5, Proverbs chapter 5, which we studied on January the 5th. And before I go, I'm going to remind everyone that today at 4 p.m. Pacific time, so that's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to have a great pleasure of speaking with Senior Chief Martin Luther White. And we are going to have a great discussion. He's an author, a coach, and a deck plate leader. He's the best-selling author of Outbox Leadership, lesson from a senior chief who built excellence that lasts. So I hope to see you later this afternoon. And I know that Senior Chief White will be on February 21st, so this month, at the Slover Library. That's in the Hampton, Norfolk area. If you can go there and meet him from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. local time, and he will be signing his book. So I highly encourage that you do that. As those who follow me know, I joined the Navy 21 years ago as a seaman recruit, which is the lowest rank in the military, and my entire career, chiefs have taken care of me. E7, E8, and E9. My first command chief was a senior chief at NRC Tuscaloosa back in 2004. He really taught me how to do a proper eval, what it meant to be a sailor, and we did naval history and customs and tradition. I mean, it was just wonderful. I was like a little baby seaman, and he really took care of me. And chiefs, I've done that throughout my entire career, even when I became a junior officer. So I really look up to the anchor, right, to the Goat Locker. They really are the people who make our Navy great. They run the U.S. Navy. So again, if you can join me today, please do. 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I will have a great privilege and honor of speaking to Senior Chief Martin Luther White. All right. I'm going to play a couple more clips from season 31, episode 4, and that's going to do it for today. So until later today, have a wonderful rest of your day. And please let me know in the comment your 3 to 5 takeaway from today's lesson. And most importantly, what is one thing you are going to put into practice today? Because leadership is not just about theory, it's not just about head knowledge, but it's about what you do, how your behavior change, which is going to impact, I believe, your destiny, your purpose, and the rest of your life. All right. Until later today, have a wonderful time. Bye for now.
So now let's go to lesson number 6. So 2 more lessons to go. I think we can do it. We have about 8 minutes left. Lesson 6 focus will determine forward motion. Okay, focus determines forward motion. Verses 18 and 19. So let's go.
But the path of the just is like the shining sun, that shines ever brighter unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is like darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble.
The way of the wicked is like darkness. So that means the way of the righteous is like light, right? The opposite. So focus will determine your forward motion. Clarity will increase with commitment, and leaders who work consistently in wisdom will gain momentum, vision, and confidence over time. Application. So align daily action with long-term purpose. Reduce noise that distract from your mission, right? So you can just focus on the mission. So is your leadership vision becoming clearer or cloudier? And what distraction are dimming your focus right now? So for those taking note or participating, you can go ahead and type your answers in the chat if you are open to it, so we can learn from one another. But I think that is so key. And the anchor reflection for lesson 6, clarity grows when leaders walk the path, not just when they study it. Okay, you have to walk it, not just know it in your head, but you have to know it in your heart and live it through. Do it. All right, the last lesson number 7. Make principled decision
in
even
a
when
life
shortcut
of-
promise speed, and let your consistency become your reputation. So does your decision making build long-term trust right now? And what values are people associating with your leadership? What is your reputation? What do people think of you? Anchor reflection. Honor follows leaders who honor wisdom first. All right, lesson number 4, leadership is a chosen path. That's going to be verses 10, 11, 12, and 13. Let me go there.
Hear, my son, and receive my sayings. And the years of your life will be many. I have taught you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in the right paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hindered. And when you run, you will not stumble. Take firm hold of instruction. Do not let go. Keep her, for she is your life.
Keep her, for she is your life. So leadership is directional. The path you choose, your habit, influences, disciplines, they will determine your outcome more than your intention. It's not just what you are thinking and what you intend to do, it's actually what you do. Your action will determine your destiny.
Thank you for tuning in to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If today's episode added value to your leadership journey, be sure to subscribe, share, and join us again for more wisdom nuggets on how to lead better and achieve greater success. Remember, leadership is the most critical skill of our time. The world will always need leaders to inspire others, drive innovation, and execute meaningful strategy. So why not count yourself among the bold leaders shaping the 21st century? Until next time, stay inspired, stay committed, and keep leading with excellence.